Hello, everybody. This is Bernie Strum, and welcome to my YouTube channel for today's broadcast of the all-time Belmont Stakes. So let me shut off my monitor here, which I don't want to hear feedback. Okay, we're all set. You don't see too many horse racing simulations on YouTube. The races take a minute to run, so they don't take up a lot of time. They aren't terribly exciting. There's only two really good sims. Both are sold at ASG Games. It's the one we're going to see today, Top of the Stretch, and also Thoroughbred Racing Game, uh, which is more of a board game. And Top of the Stretch is more of a math game. But when they put them both on computer, uh, translated them to the PC, Top of the Stretch is more visually pleasing and easier to show the race. So that's why we chose Top of the Stretch. But Thoroughbred Racing Game actually is probably my favorite game to play. It's a direct port of a cards and dice game. Both are sold at ASG Games. And it's my favorite game. However, it doesn't stream well, so that's why we're using this one. And Buckshot is in. Hey, it's not going to be a very long broadcast, about 15 minutes or so. The race will take about a minute, and me talking for 14 minutes should fill it up. Anyway, that's why we're using the Thoroughbred. We're not using the Thoroughbred Racing Game because it's a more cards and dice game and doesn't show well on YouTube. To talk a moment about Top of the Stretch, it's really a math exercise. And somehow when they translated it, they put a visual animation in that streams very well. So that's why we're going to do it. Today is Belmont Stakes Day, and that got me thinking that it would be a good day to do a broadcast of horse racing. I went to ChatGPT and asked ChatGPT the following question. Give me the top 10 racehorses that have run in the Belmont Stakes. And it spit out a list, which I'm about to give you. Number one was Secretariat in 1973. Even if you're not a racing fan, everybody knows who Secretariat was. Secretariat's one of the few horses it might be the only horse that made the cover of Time magazine. It ran this race in 2 minutes, 24 seconds. It's the fastest mile and a half on dirt ever run. It won by 31 lengths. The replay of this race is all over YouTube. If you haven't seen it, you ought to look it up. It is probably the most iconic Belmont performance in racing history. Man of War, the number 2 horse it picked from 1920. That horse won by 20 lengths, and it was at 1 mile and 3/8. At that time, it set a record for the shortest distance. For the shorter distance, set a record for the 1 mile and 3/8. Man of War was undefeated as a 3-year-old. The third horse it picks is Citation, Triple Crown winner, 19 wins in his 20 starts as a 3-year-old. He almost never lost, and almost means he's only lost once. Seattle Slew came in at 4th in 1977. He's also a Triple Crown winner, and he was the first horse to win a Triple Crown while undefeated. Affirmed is 5th from 1978, a year later, also a Triple Crown winner. Affirmed and Alydar spent most of their 3-year-old campaigns fighting one another in the Triple Crown races in some of the most exciting head-to-head battles in thoroughbred racing history, if you know anything about thoroughbred racing. American Pharoah from 2015, modern horse, comes in 6th. American Pharoah ran this race in 2 minutes, 26 seconds. His first time. American Pharoah's known for being the first Triple Crown winner in the sport in 37 years when he won the Triple Crown. American Pharoah also won Breeders' Cup Classic, which wasn't run in those previous years, for the horse racing Grand Slam, like tennis and golf. There's 4 races. If you win the Triple Crown and the Breeders' Cup, they consider it the Grand Slam of thoroughbred racing. Justify in 2018, also a Triple Crown winner. He was undefeated at 6 starts as a 3-year-old, never raced as a 2-year-old, and he went on to a wire-to-wire Belmont victory. Easy Goer from 1989. Did not win the Triple Crown. He was defeated by Sunday Silence in, I believe it was the Kentucky Derby, but I don't remember for sure. This Easy Goer is known for being an extremely fast, powerful horse. He ran this race in 2 minutes, 26 seconds, one of the fastest ever at Belmont. Number 9, Whirlaway from 1941, also a Triple Crown winner, and very popular horse back in the 1940s. Horse racing was at its peak in popularity. And number 10, Point Given from 2001, ran it in also a 2:26 blazing fast pace, won by 12 1/4 lengths. Point Given missed the Triple Crown that year by finishing 5th in the Kentucky Derby. However, Point Given won the Preakness Belmont, Haskell and Travers, 2 Saratoga races for 3-year-old and 3-year-olds and up in Saratoga in the summer meet. Anyway, those are the 10 horses that ChatGPT gave me. The Belmont Stakes, obviously, is the final event in North America's Triple Crown Series, and it's the oldest of the races. It predates the Preakness by 4 years and the Kentucky Derby by 8 years. Belmont doesn't have an uninterrupted history, however, so some people say it started and stopped. It didn't run in 1911 and 1912, believe it or not, because New York had an anti-betting legislation law that went into effect that shut down all the New York racetracks. I find that pretty amazing. It hasn't always run at 1.5 miles. 1893-94, it was running 1.1 miles. Also in the 1890s and up to 1905, it was 1.25 miles, 1.375 miles between 1906 and 1925. It went to 1 mile, it started actually at 1.5 miles in the 1870s. And then in 1926 went back to 1.5 miles, and it's been that way ever since. And predating 1874, when the first race was run, it was run at 1 mile and 5/8. It always hasn't been at Belmont Park, the Belmont Stakes. It's been at Belmont Park most of the time in the 20th and 21st century, but it ran at 2 races in the 1800s, Jerome Park and Morris Park, 2 racetracks I don't really know anything about. It did run at Aqueduct from 1963 to 1967 as Belmont Park was being rebuilt. And of course, it wasn't held in 1911 and 1912 because of that anti-gambling law in New York. Anything else that we want to see? That's not terribly interesting. Make a long story short, I could tell you more about Belmont, but you're here to see the race, so I am going to skip all this other garbage. You can look it up on Wikipedia. They do a lot of good stuff there, and we'll send you to other spots on the internet. Lots of stuff on the internet about the Belmont Stakes. Okay, as you see, the Belmont Park, as you see on the screen, 1 1/2 miles. This is the all-time Belmont Stakes. It's a grade 1. I gave, since the money is free, to me anyway, I gave it a $10 million purse for 3-year-olds. Any 3-year-old, and I opened it up to more than 3-year-olds. I opened it up to any horse, but since you see the horses that they gave me, you will see them in a moment. I just read them out. That $10 million, 60% goes to the winner. Nice payday. This is a math exercise, and I could show it as a math exercise, and then no one would ever watch any of my YouTube videos again. So I'm going to show it as animation. And we hit the play button. As you see, there's the 10 horses. The favorite is Man of War at 7-2 odds. Easy Go at 5-1 and Citation at 5-1, second favorites. 6-1 is Secretariat. Then we jump up to 8-1 Affirmed, 9-1 Point Given. Seattle Slew 11-1 on the rail, along with Justify in the 8-hole. And the longest shot on the morning line odds, 11-1 Justify. This is the math. These are the cards, actually, that right here. These are the cards and their ratings. And I will show that to you at the end of the race, their pace numbers. But every horse is graded at pace, trip, class, speed, form, and how they did at the wire. Seattle Slew, Cruget, I guess the guy's name is. Ronnie Turcotte on Secretariat. Steve Coffin on Affirmed. Victor Espinoza on American Pharaoh. Eddie Arcaro, who has won more races, Belmonts, than anybody else, he is on Citation. Coomer is on Man of War. Jerry Bailey on Whirlaway. I had to put Jerry Bailey on Whirlaway. You will notice he's a modern jockey, and Whirlaway is a World War II horse, because there was a duplicate, and you can't have Eddie Arcaro on both those horses. Mike Smith on Justify. Pat Day on Easy Goer. Gary Stevens on Point Given. And we're going to start the race without any further ado. Here we go.
They are at the gate. They're all in line. And they're off.
The gate opens. Pretty even. Justify sticks a nose out in front. We're going to stop at that 6 mark, which obviously means 6 furlongs to go. And Justify is going to have the lead, followed by Man of War, Seattle Slew, American Pharaoh. 1, 2, 3, and 4, all pretty close. You will see we're going to hit continue, and it will fill in the first roll here, these of the math exercise. Citation coming up next to Justify. We're going to stop here again in a moment. Citation has the lead as that fills in with the numbers. Citation in first place, followed by Justify, American Pharaoh. Man of War is 4th. And they're all bunched up, and here we go. We continue. Race Factor is the next roll. It will stop and it'll give you that roll there.
They're at the top of the stretch.
Gives you the race factor and the speed roll here. Once again, the numbers that are on the card. Citation still at front, followed by Easy Goer a length back. Justify in 3rd. Man of War in 4th, followed by Secretariat and everybody else. We hit the continued button to end the race. It will do the final rolls, the final speed, anything at the wire, and you will have a winner. Easy Goer is pulling ahead, and Easy Goer is going to cross the finish line first. As the horses disappear past the finish line, the final numbers will be put in the spreadsheet, and you will have a winner. And there it is. There's a photo finish for second, 3-way photo finish. Easy Goer the winner, Point Given second, Affirmed third, Whirlaway fourth, time 2 minutes, 24 seconds. And it is a fast Belmont Stakes. Easy Goer paid $13.60 to win, $7 to place, $4.80 to show. Point Given $9.60 and $6.20, $5.80 Affirmed to show. And if you want to see how the race progressed in racing form, you hit the report, and that gives you all the information. If you had a $9, $10, $2 exacta bet, the payoff was $136. If you had the superfecta, $1 superfecta, $10,000, $30.10. I am not a bookie, so I couldn't book any of these, but there you go. That is what top of the stretch looks like. Easy goer started, as you can see, with the first roll and the second roll. Started out seventh, went to the front and stayed there. Point Given came all the way from the rear of the field, finished second by a nose. Affirmed mid-pack and Whirlaway came from the back. The front runners, Justify faded to eighth. And Man of War, which went to the front also, he faded to sixth. Well, that's what it looks like. You can print it out. This is what I'm going to do because I want you to see something. Let's go to options and show you that this is not a cards and dice game. It's more of a dice game and a spreadsheet game. And this is how it would look. Let's reset the race and let's run it, not with the animation, but just the math and why this is why you don't see these games on YouTube. It is pretty boring. You roll the dice. It gives you the order. Let's start the race.
We are at the gate. They're all in line. And they're off.
And all you got to do is roll the dice again. It comes up to 11. Man of War is a 23. It will fill it in, as you see right here. And then, of course, you do that for every other horse. I'm not going to do that, bore you to death. We'll do it automatically. Did it for all the other horses and gave them a number. This is the pace scenario. And there it is. The pace scenario fills in now. With another number, we finish those rolls. Now you do the race factor chart and why this is all just a math exercise. That fills the second speed in. We'll do that automatically. Last but not least, it rolls a jockey roll.
At the top of the stretch.
And now the power roll. It will finish off and it will give you the race. Let's see who wins the second running. Of course, at the wire, there needs to be a roll because there's a photo. And there it is. Secretariat wins this one. Anyway, make a long story short, that's why I didn't run that. And that's why you don't see it very often. And we can reset this race and run it as many times as we want. If you want the animation, which I like, I click animation mode. I think this is a great game. Just for anybody's curiosity, this has only been an 18-minute broadcast. That Let It Ride is a good movie there, Buckshot. I liked it. Anyway, just quickly, let me just do this. I did put this race into Thoroughbred Racing Game. And I am not going to... I'm not going to show you how to play it. However, I will just run it so you get an idea what I'm talking about. It's not quite as an intuitive game as Thoroughbred Racing Game. The Thoroughbred Racing Game is much, much easier to learn. And of course, it's a Richard Hanna game, so it's great to play. Whoops, we don't want to create a race. We want to run a race. There it is. The morning line here shows a favorite 4.5 to 1, both Secretariat and Point Given. Long shot here is Seattle Slew. Anyway, make a long story short. Let's hit the start the race. And it gives you the actual Belmont Park track, which the other game doesn't give you. I am going to slow this down to the slowest you can possibly show this, and it is still lightning fast. Here's the spectator mode. I could show you how it runs the race, but I'm not going to. I'll do that for another broadcast. But you click roll, it rows. You move one horse, then you click roll, it moves another horse until you finish. It takes about 15 minutes to do a race. But spectator mode can be done in a few seconds. We'll stop it at the home stretch, and there it is. As the horses move around the track, headed into the home stretch, Point Given leads, Man o' War second, Citation, followed by Secretariat. There's going to be a jockey's inquiry. Let's resume the race. It's finished. And there it is. Point Given wins this race. 2 minutes, 24 seconds, about the same time. Citation second, Secretariat third, Man o' War fourth. Anyway, that's just a brief glance at how TRG, which is a game I love. I'm not knocking it. It just doesn't show as well, as you can see. Anyway, I want to thank Buckshot for stopping by, and Aaron Reed, as usual, stopped by. Thank you, Aaron. David Landau, Sports Time Machine. Anybody else? That's it. Anyway, I hope everybody has a nice weekend. It's been fun. Enjoy the Belmont Stakes if you get to watch it today. It is a great race to watch. It will be on TV this afternoon, so look it up. Have a nice day, everybody.